Many people frequently encounter phrases like positive mindset or an attitude of gratitude. But for most, these words remain nothing more than surface-level virtues, temporary emotional comfort, or polite, moral language that offers brief relief in a difficult world. In a harsh and competitive reality, it feels natural to question this idea. How could simply being grateful change anything? How could gratitude possibly alter real outcomes, real opportunities, or real limitations? This doubt is understandable. But the story you are about to hear goes far beyond that shallow interpretation. True gratitude is not simply good character. It is not politeness. It is not optimism. It is not emotional positivity. True gratitude is a structural force. It is a core mechanism that resets the fundamental architecture of human life. Most people overlook this principle, and because of that, they live without ever accessing the deep internal energy it contains. They move through life unaware that an entire system of transformation exists within their own biology. But modern neuroscience, neurology, and cognitive research now clearly demonstrate something extraordinary. Gratitude is not a mood. It is not a passing feeling. It is not an emotional state. Gratitude is a biological process. Gratitude restructures neural networks. It harmonizes body systems. It reorganizes behavioral patterns at a fundamental level. It is a powerful biological mechanism that changes how the brain, body, and behavior operate as a unified system. What you desire already exists, because the moment you decide to choose it, your nervous system begins reorganizing itself around that decision. What you choose shapes what you perceive. What you perceive shapes what you act on. What you act on shapes what becomes real. Welcome to Mind Design Lab. When we pursue a goal with intensity, the brain unconsciously learns a dangerous pattern. Not enough yet. Still lacking. Still incomplete. This sense of insufficiency becomes a repeated internal lesson. Over time, this learning process blocks perception. It narrows attention. It weakens resilience. It magnifies small difficulties into major obstacles. Eventually, people do not quit because they are incapable. They quit because their nervous system has been trained to interpret effort as failure and struggle as proof of limitation. But true gratitude completely reverses this neural mechanism. Gratitude trains the brain to perceive completion before achievement. It conditions the nervous system to recognize stability before success. It regulates internal balance, so effort becomes sustainable rather than exhausting. And when gratitude is expressed, pleasure-related neurochemicals are released. The brain registers gratitude as a positive reward experience. This strengthens the behavior. It reinforces the pattern. It creates repetition. In other words, gratitude is not psychological comfort. It is not emotional anesthesia for difficult reality. It is a biological accelerator of transformation. It does not help you endure reality. It helps you change reality. It does not slow suffering. It increases progress. This is why gratitude cannot be reduced to a positive attitude. It becomes the driving force behind success, opportunity, connection, expansion, achievement, fulfillment. Gratitude becomes the engine that turns desire into reality. If you truly understand this hidden operational principle, you will never remain where you are. This is not philosophy. This is not belief. This is not motivation. This is system design. In the second half of this video, I will share a structured and expanded gratitude practice protocol, a system I have personally organized and refined into a practical method. If you miss this information, you will remain within the same patterns as the majority. But if you stay until the end, you will begin moving into the category of the few who redesign their trajectory. So from this moment forward, remove all distractions. Focus fully. Stay present until the end. Because this knowledge does not simply inspire, it restructures your life. Have you ever experienced this moment? The night before an important presentation, lying awake, unable to sleep, replaying worst-case scenarios in your mind, or before confessing your feelings to someone, already imagining rejection, already feeling emotional pain before anything has even happened? This is not weakness. This is one of the most powerful capacities of the human mind. Future prediction simulation. The human brain is not simply a memory device. It is not only a storage system for the past, it is a massive predictive engine. Neuroscience refers to this as predictive coding. The brain does not passively receive reality. It actively predicts reality, then interprets the world through those predictions. The mind does not respond to the present moment. It responds to its internal future model. And this is where the problem begins. The more intensely we desire something, the more strongly the brain simultaneously simulates lack. Not yet, still far, still missing. I am not enough yet. These messages repeat continuously in the nervous system. As a result, even real opportunities become invisible. Even small mistakes become interpreted as proof of failure. Even neutral events become negative evidence. The brain's future prediction system begins distorting present reality. This is where gratitude becomes a powerful leverage point. Gratitude sends a new signal to the brain. It is already achieved. I already have it. I am already experiencing the result. I am already living the outcome. These words may sound symbolic, but the brain processes them as experiential data. The nervous system does not distinguish clearly between imagined experience and lived experience. Emotion language neural encoding. Gratitude becomes new input data for the predictive system. It becomes a new command line, a new operating instruction. In other words, gratitude is the act of reprogramming the brain's prediction engine. Now imagine a person who goes to sleep every night thinking, I'm not enough, I'm behind, I'm failing, I'm lacking. Their brain builds a future model based on scarcity. Now imagine that same person spends just 5 minutes each night recording gratitude, what they already have, what they already accomplished, what they already survived, what they already learned. Slowly, the brain's prediction model changes. Scarcity data is replaced with sufficiency data. Lack is replaced with stability. Fear is replaced with continuity. Here is the scientific foundation. The brain's predictive function is activated through the interaction between the prefrontal cortex and the hippocampus. Gratitude training directly stimulates these regions, strengthening positive future encoding. As a result, vague anxiety about the future is replaced by confidence, rooted in present stability. The brain's default setting changes. Instead of uncertainty, the nervous system begins from sufficiency. A study demonstrated this clearly. Participants who wrote gratitude journals for 3 weeks were scanned using fMRI. The results showed simultaneous activation of the prefrontal cortex and the reward pathways. This means gratitude does not simply change emotion. It issues a new neurological command to the brain. Expect a positive future. Prepare for growth. Anticipate expansion. Now ask yourself, what future are you rehearsing every day in your mind? A future of lack? A future of fear? A future of insufficiency? Or a future of growth? A future of continuity? A future of expansion? The true power of gratitude exists in this choice. As a result, instead of vague anxiety about the future, a kind of confidence begins to take root. Confidence that starts from what you already have right now. Your brain's baseline setting shifts. And this is not just a poetic claim. It's measurable. One study offers a fascinating example. Participants who kept a gratitude journal for 3 weeks had their brain scanned using functional MRI. What researchers observed was striking. The prefrontal cortex, which plays a major role in planning and self-control, and the reward pathways, which influence motivation and reinforcement, were activated at the same time. This suggests something profound. Gratitude is not merely feeling better. It is a neurological instruction, a command that tells your brain, forecast a more positive future, encode possibility, organize attention toward growth. Now, ask yourself a direct question. What future are you rehearsing every single day? Are you running the code of insufficiency? I'm still not enough. I'm still lacking. I'm still behind? Or are you running the code of fullness? I already have enough to begin. I'm improving. I'm expanding. The true power of gratitude lies in this choice. When you express sincere gratitude for small achievements, for ordinary moments you already live inside of, your brain learns something quietly but powerfully. Oh, this direction is safe. This future feels stable. This path is worth continuing. And once the brain learns that, your body changes. The nervous system exits instability. It returns to balance. And instead of hesitation, you begin choosing bolder action. Ultimately, gratitude is not just feeling good. It is a revolutionary code that overwrites your future prediction system, from scarcity to achievement, from deficiency to progress. And the moment that code enters the brain, the reality in front of you begins to look different. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever experienced this strange phenomenon? You buy a new phone, let's say a very specific model, and suddenly you start noticing that same phone everywhere. Or you learn a new word, and suddenly that word appears in conversations, in headlines, in videos almost constantly. Did the environment change overnight? No, your brain changed. This happens because a system inside your brain becomes activated, a system often called the reticular activating system, or RAS. Think of it as your brain's attention engine. Every second, your senses receive massive amounts of information, but you cannot consciously process all of it. So the RAS filters reality. It decides what becomes visible and what remains invisible. The moment you focus on something, a word, a goal, a fear, a desire, the RAS begins searching the world for matching data. It highlights what matters and hides what doesn't. Now here is the critical problem. Most people unconsciously program their RAS with one keyword: scarcity. I don't have enough resources. There are no opportunities. I'm not ready. I'm behind. I'm missing something. When these thoughts repeat, your attention engine begins searching the environment for proof, and it finds it. Not because the world is objectively lacking, but because your brain is now scanning reality through the lens of lack. That is why, even when good opportunities appear, many people fail to recognize them. Instead, they interpret situations more negatively. They see threat, rejection, limitation, even in neutral events. And at that exact point, gratitude becomes powerful. Gratitude injects a new search term into the RAS. It is an intentional act of entering a different keyword into your perception system. Gratitude says, I already have many things. I am already supported. I am already loved. I am improving. I am growing. I am becoming. When you hold this inner posture, your brain stops scanning for scarcity and begins scanning for sufficiency and possibility. Now, there's an experiment worth mentioning. Researchers asked participants to record 3 things. They felt grateful for each day. They then observed how those participants processed information in real situations. The results were surprising. In only 2 weeks, participants began detecting positive cues significantly faster. Their speed of noticing supportive details increased. Their attention shifted. Meaning, gratitude doesn't just change feelings, it changes the filter itself. It changes what your brain selects as relevant reality. And here is an essential point. Because the RAS functions largely unconsciously, if you do not intentionally practice gratitude, your brain defaults to scarcity mode. Scarcity becomes the baseline setting. But when you practice gratitude consciously, that baseline changes. The default shifts from lack to abundance. And in that moment, the same environment produces a completely different world. Let me give you an example. 2 people attend the exact same business meeting. Person A enters thinking, they're going to underestimate me. They'll judge me. They'll reject me. Person B enters thinking, I'm grateful for the chance to learn something today. I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful for this experience regardless of the outcome. Now watch what happens. Person A's attention engine, the RAS, will amplify cold looks, skeptical, questions, and anything that could be interpreted as criticism. They will feel attacked. Person B's system, in contrast, will notice curiosity, openness, neutral expressions, and even small signs of interest. They will feel engaged. Same meeting, same words, same reality. But 2 completely different experiences are recorded in the brain, and those experiences lead to different choices afterward. This is why gratitude is not a temporary mood trick. It is a program, a powerful program that changes your perception filter. From scarcity interpretation to abundance interpretation. And once the perception filter changes, reality unfolds differently. Now listen closely. If you find it difficult to feel gratitude right now, you are effectively telling your brain, find what is missing, show me what is negative, highlight what is wrong. That becomes your internal command. But if you practice gratitude intentionally, you are telling your brain the opposite. Recognize what is already given. Notice what is helping me. See what is teaching me. Detect what supports my growth. Reality does not change only from the outside. First, the brain's filter changes. Then your interpretation changes. Then your behavior changes. And behavior creates outcomes. So gratitude is not about changing the world. It is about changing the lens through which you interpret the world. Gratitude does not alter reality directly. It redefines the way you read reality. And once your reading changes, your choices change. Your actions change. Your results change. This is where many people make a mistake. They try to find motivation from external stimulation. Inspirational speeches, motivational videos, success stories, intense emotional triggers. In the moment, they feel energized. But after a short time, they return to the old state. Why does this happen so repeatedly? Because your behavior is not controlled primarily by willpower. It is controlled by the brain's reward system, the dopamine circuit. And that's exactly what we need to understand next. Human beings often try to find motivation from the outside. We search for it in inspiring speeches, motivational videos, success stories, powerful emotional messages, stories of people who made it. In those moments, we feel energized. We feel driven. We feel ready to change. But after a short time, we return to our old state. The enthusiasm fades. The energy disappears. The motivation collapses. Why does this happen so consistently? Because human behavior is not governed primarily by willpower. It is governed by the brain's reward system, specifically the dopamine circuit. The brain learns through a mechanism called reward prediction error. In simple terms, if the result is better than expected, dopamine is released. The behavior is reinforced. The action is remembered. If the result is worse than expected, dopamine drops. The behavior weakens. The action is abandoned. This is how the brain decides what behaviors are worth repeating. Now here is the problem. Most people only recognize big achievements as real rewards. Massive income, dramatic success, life-changing opportunities, major breakthroughs. Only these outcomes feel worthy of satisfaction. Small progress is ignored. Small effort is dismissed. Small wins are minimized. Small growth is invisible. From a dopamine system perspective, this creates a dangerous condition: reward starvation. The brain receives very few reinforcement signals. Motivation collapses, consistency disappears, habits fail, and eventually, people lose the internal energy required for long-term change. This is exactly where gratitude becomes biologically decisive. Gratitude changes what the brain counts as a reward. Gratitude trains the brain to recognize small progress as meaningful reward. Finishing a day safely, having a meaningful conversation, learning one new idea, making one small improvement, completing one task, surviving one difficult moment. When these moments are consciously reconstructed as gratitude, the brain interprets them as real achievement. Dopamine is released. This means gratitude switches the nervous system into reward amplification mode. It turns daily life into a reinforcement system. And when this process repeats, something powerful happens. The brain begins linking dopamine to small actions. Waking up early becomes rewarding. Studying consistently becomes rewarding. Writing daily becomes rewarding. Practicing daily becomes rewarding. Showing up becomes rewarding. Habits no longer require force. They become neurologically supported. Psychological research consistently shows that people who frequently express gratitude experience higher satisfaction from small achievements, and this satisfaction drives long-term behavioral continuity. In other words, gratitude is not emotional warmth. It is a neurological activator of behavioral continuity. It strengthens the chain of action. This leads to a powerful insight. Many people say, "I have nothing to be grateful for yet. I haven't achieved anything big enough." But science says the opposite. The moment when gratitude feels hardest is the moment it is most necessary, because only small gratitude produces dopamine, and dopamine produces action, and action produces momentum. Momentum creates results. Results create new gratitude. This is the loop. What we call miracles are not sudden events. They are the visible result of accumulated reinforcement. Tiny dopamine rewards stacking over time. Gratitude accelerates that accumulation process. And when that accumulation crosses a threshold, it feels like reality suddenly changed. But in truth, the system was always building. Now ask yourself, how many times did your brain release dopamine today? If you only searched for big things to be grateful for, probably very few. But if you appreciated small things, your brain may have released reinforcement signals dozens of times, and every signal pushes you forward. Gratitude is not tricking the brain. Gratitude is optimizing the learning environment of the brain. It creates the perfect conditions for long-term growth. And only those who practice this consistently build outcomes that shock the world. Now let's move to a deeper layer. When people pursue important goals, their greatest obstacle is often not external limitation. It is internal anxiety. Imagine this. An important opportunity appears. Your hands shake. Your chest tightens. Your breathing becomes shallow. Your mind goes blank. This is not weakness of character. It is the autonomic nervous system entering threat mode. The autonomic nervous system has two main states. The sympathetic system threat, fight or flight, survival mode. The parasympathetic system rest, recovery, growth mode. The more we focus on fear, lack, and threat, The more the sympathetic system dominates, heart rate increases, breathing becomes rapid, muscles tense, the body contracts. In this state, creative thinking decreases, flexible thinking decreases, problem-solving ability decreases, intuitive decision-making collapses. Even when opportunity appears, the body is not capable of receiving it. The system is in defense mode. Now here is the extraordinary part. Gratitude powerfully activates the parasympathetic nervous system, especially through the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve connects the brain to the heart, lungs, and digestive system. When gratitude is felt deeply, the vagus nerve activates. The body shifts into a calm state. Heart rate stabilizes. Breathing deepens. Muscle tension releases. The nervous system enters coherence. Psychophysiological studies show that people who practice gratitude consistently have higher heart rate variability, HRV. HRV is a marker of resilience, adaptability, and nervous system flexibility. Higher HRV means better stress recovery, greater emotional stability, stronger cognitive flexibility, improved learning capacity. This means gratitude is not just calming, it is biological optimization. But this calm state is not passivity. When the parasympathetic system activates, the brain becomes more receptive to possibility. The prefrontal cortex receives increased blood flow. Creative insight increases. Perspective expands. Solutions emerge that were previously invisible. Gratitude is not relaxation. It is performance alignment. It is the construction of an internal state, where success becomes neurologically possible. Let me give you a concrete example. In a Stanford University experiment, researchers exposed participants to stress-inducing situations. One group practiced gratitude meditation beforehand. The other group did not. The results were remarkable. Those who practiced gratitude, their heart rate stabilized faster. Their breathing normalized more quickly. Their stress response calmed rapidly. Their problem-solving speed increased. Their accuracy improved significantly. This was not emotional positivity. This was physiological optimization. It was biological evidence that gratitude creates the internal conditions for success. You can experience this in daily life. Before an important meeting, before a major decision, before a high-stakes moment. If your mind is filled with fear, what if I fail? What will they think of me? What if I make a mistake? Your body is already locked in tension. But if you close your eyes for a moment and feel gratitude for the people who helped you, for the journey that brought you here, for the small achievements you already earned, you will feel it instantly. Breathing deepens. Shoulders relax. Heart rate slows. The mind stabilizes. This is not imagination. This is the autonomic nervous system shifting states. Gratitude is not just psychological comfort. It is a physical signal that switches your body and brain into success mode. From this state, something powerful happens. You notice opportunities you would have missed. You access courage you did not think you had. You generate solutions you could not previously imagine. Gratitude creates the internal environment for success. Now we move to another critical layer. Reality does not manifest in isolation. Opportunities come through people. Resources come through people. Information comes through people. Access comes through people. Reality flows through relationships and networks. Yet many people reduce manifestation to personal mindset alone, or abstract cosmic concepts. But real life opens doors through human connection. And here, gratitude becomes decisive. Expressing gratitude is not just good manners. It sends a powerful message. I value you. I recognize you. Your effort matters. Your presence matters. Psychology shows that when people feel valued and recognized, they naturally want to give back. This is called the principle of reciprocity. The more gratitude you express, the more trust you generate. The more trust you generate, the more opportunity flows toward you. This affects real systems. Information flow, resource access, opportunity distribution, network expansion. This is not abstract. It is measurable social dynamics. For example, a Harvard Business School study found that employees who consistently expressed gratitude to their managers were more than twice as likely to be promoted or recommended for major projects. Gratitude builds trust capital. It is like depositing value into an invisible social bank account. One day that account pays out an opportunity. Gratitude also acts as a relationship catalyst. Imagine an entrepreneur sending a simple, sincere message to a potential investor. Thank you for your time. Your insight helped me more than you know. That single sentence can open a door, not just to one opportunity, but to an entire network. History is full of stories where a single, Moment of gratitude became the turning point in someone's life. Gratitude creates chain reactions. One expression builds one connection. That connection builds another. That network creates access. That access creates opportunity. And suddenly possibilities appear that once felt impossible. Gratitude does not just calm your mind. It redraws your map of reality. Here is a crucial distinction. Inner gratitude and expressed gratitude are not the same. Inner gratitude is what you feel. Expressed gratitude is what you show. Many people stay at the level of inner gratitude only. But transformation accelerates when gratitude becomes action. Yes, journaling is powerful, but sending a message is powerful too. A simple text. Today was easier because of you. Thank you. One sentence can strengthen trust, plant goodwill, create future cooperation, open future support. Gratitude expressed becomes social energy. It creates relational momentum. Reality does not change through individual effort alone. It changes through connected effort, through relationships, through networks, through shared information, through cooperation. Gratitude connects you to these systems. So gratitude is not just personal healing. It is a social signal, a relationship asset, and a network amplifier. It becomes the force that accelerates reality change through human systems. Gratitude is not just inner transformation, it is systemic transformation. It reorganizes how you connect with the world. Now let's bring everything together. We have seen that gratitude reprograms future prediction, rewrites attention filters, strengthens dopamine reward circuits, stabilizes the autonomic nervous system, optimizes brain-body performance, restructures social networks. Now here is the final insight. Why does gratitude act as the final activation key of manifestation? Reality creation follows 4 stages. 1, clear intention, knowing what you want. 2, focused perception, noticing relevant signals. 3, active action, moving toward it. 4, integration, accepting and encoding the result. Most people complete only the first 3. They decide what they want. They search for opportunity. They take action, but they skip the final stage, integration. They receive results, but they do not fully accept them. They do not fully internalize them. They do not feel gratitude for them. So the brain records the experience as incomplete. The success loop remains open. No closure, no consolidation, no reinforcement. Gratitude completes the loop. When you feel gratitude for receiving, the brain registers the experience as full success. It becomes identity memory. It becomes internal data. It becomes behavioral reference. This is the difference between repeating frustration and compounding success. This is why successful people almost always express gratitude at the peak of achievement, not as politeness, not as humility, but as neurological closure. They intuitively understand gratitude seals the success cycle and opens the next one. Now your task is simple. Every evening, find 3 small things. Write them, feel them, acknowledge them, express them, send 1 message, appreciate 1 person, recognize 1 moment. This will reset your brain, regulate your nervous system, reprogram your perception, strengthen your focus, build momentum. Start small. A safe day, a smile, sunlight, a kind word, a quiet moment, a breath of peace. These are seeds, and seeds grow. Gratitude is no longer a virtue. It is a reality structuring command. It is the final activation system of success. Most people live without ever realizing this truth. But now you know it. So choose. Will this remain just a good story? Or will it become your daily practice? If you make gratitude part of your life, what once looked like coincidence will begin appearing as pattern. What once felt like luck will begin appearing as structure. What once felt impossible will begin appearing as natural progression. Thank you for watching. If this video helped you, please subscribe, like, and turn on notifications. And if you want to continue building a higher level of awareness and growth, explore the other videos on this channel. What you desire already exists, because the moment you chose it, reality began organizing around it. Your life becomes what you choose to see. May your days be filled with awareness, growth, and meaning. This was Mind Design Lab.